Welcome to the College Fairs of Greater Denver. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Matt. I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so please be sure to check the schedule on the website. This presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Greater Denver. And now I'd like to turn it over to our first presenter, the University of Alabama.
Well, good evening, y'all. I'm going to do my screen share real quick, but as I'm pulling that up, I'm going to introduce myself. I am Beth Hodge. I'm the regional recruiter for the University of Alabama out here in Colorado, based in Castle Rock. So I am in Colorado full time and look forward to working with y'all as you consider your college options. So the University of Alabama is a large university. We've got just under 32,000 undergraduate students. So we're going to bring you all the benefits and advantages of attending a large university, but at the same time, we keep that small campus, small community feel. About 60% of our classes campus-wide have fewer than 30 students in them, and about 40% have fewer than 20. Also, as an out-of-state student on our campus, you're in the majority. 60% of our students are from outside the state of Alabama, coast to coast, north to south, and about 92 different countries even. And over 300 students are on campus from Colorado now. So you can kind of see a map here on this slide as to where Tuscaloosa is located. We're in West Central Alabama. So it's about a 2.5-hour direct flight from Birmingham or from Denver Airport. You will fly into Birmingham, which is the second largest city in Alabama. And it's a short hour drive right down the interstate to our campus. There are shuttles that operate from both the Birmingham airports and Atlanta airports between campus. The university doesn't own or operate those shuttles, but they are available to you. And we're only about 3.5, 4 hours from from the Gulf Coast beaches too. We are pulling a high achieving student. We've got over 940 National Merit Scholars on our campus, about 50 Goldwater Scholars. We offer over 1,000 different study abroad programs covering 60 different countries and about 200 locations within those countries. Some of our more popular study abroad programs are located in Spain, Italy, Germany, and France. We offer over 200 academic programs. About 70 of those are majors. Some of the highlights there are one of the top 30 public business programs in the country. We've got one of the top 5 public relations departments in the country, and other popular majors are our engineering programs, as well as the sciences, psychology, criminal justice, and political science. We have 7 different honors programs to get involved in, including our Honors College, which gives you that best of both worlds experience, gives you that small college experience while still being fully immersed in the overall University of Alabama experience. We've got our STEM and Create paths to the MBA, where you can complete your undergraduate degree and your MBA in 5 years or less. We are also believe in giving you that hands-on experience and real-world experience while you're taking classes. So we are number 2 in the country for internship placements, and we also have a strong co-op program. Tons of research taking place on our campus, and you can get involved in that research as early as your freshman year, working one-on-one with a faculty member in your area of interest. And we have the highest research classification allowed. Scholarships, we do have very generous scholarships that in many instances can make it just as affordable, if not more affordable, to go out of state to Alabama than it is to stay in state in Colorado. This year we are test optional, so your application for admission will also serve as your scholarship application for the competitive scholarships. And those run from, the value of those are from $8,000 a year for 4 years up to full tuition for 4 years. And it's a more holistic review, so it's going to be based on both academic and non-academic criteria. Your academic being your GPA, your leadership, experiences, honors, award, employment, and extraordinary circumstances or additional information that you feel was important for the scholarship committee to know. That's your area to brag on yourself. That, again, that application for admission serves as scholarship application for competitive scholarships, so brag, brag, brag. And test scores are not considered in those competitive scholarship reviews. Now, our automatic merit scholarships are based on test score and GPA. So if you meet the criteria for those, then you are automatically, upon admission to the University of Alabama, awarded a scholarship between the value of $6,000 a year or to up to $28,000 a year. And you can go to our scholarships website, which is scholarships.ua.edu, and find out more information on those criteria. We have a very vibrant student life on campus. We've got over 600 different student organizations for our students to get involved in, and really encourage students to get involved and make it easy for you to do that. About a week after classes start each semester, we host Get On Board Days, which is kind of our involvement fair, which is similar to college fair, but it's more about the involvement on campus. And those cover social, service, political, cultural, academic, sports, all those different organizations. And we do have the largest Greek system in the country. So if sorority or fraternity life is of interest to you, that's a great way to get involved really quickly on campus. Our students also have a very dedicated spirit of community service. Each year they complete over 1 million hours of community service, not only on the campus, but in the Tuscaloosa and West Alabama areas. So we'd love to have you plan a visit to our campus. We have some upcoming university days, which are some big visit days, and those are scheduled by college. We also have some virtual visit days coming up in November, but it really is important to kind of step foot on that campus if you can. And we'd love to have you down to campus, and we can do what's called an in-depth visit for you, which is personalized to your individual interests. So it includes the 2-hour guided campus tour, but beyond that, it is planned to your individual interests with college that you're interested in, honors college, Greek life, anything like that. So just let me know in advance. And there's information on our application. We are on the Common App this year, but we also have our own application. And there's my contact information. Thank you. And I hope to speak with you soon. Roll Tide.
Thank you, Beth. Next up is Loyola University, New Orleans.
Hello, good evening. My name is Ricky Alarcon with Loyola University, New Orleans. And as I'm sharing my screen here, I'm an assistant director of admissions. I'm a regional representative. I live in Dallas, Texas, but I cover everything Western United States, including the great state of Colorado. We do get some great students from Colorado. I think they wanted just a change of pace and change of weather here. So we will definitely bring that for you. Loyola University is a private, small Catholic university, Jesuit school. We're roughly on a little bit over 3,200 students. As you can see here, average class size, student to faculty ratio. We offer about 119 different undergraduate programs. So the students that like our campus are the ones that want that small campus feeling, but you're in the large city of New Orleans. So that acts like your second classroom, I tell students. So not only are you going to get great education, but you're also going to have the experience, the hands-on experiential learning experience outside of that as well. The next slide has a little bit of our breakdown, the incoming class of this year, this fall. And as you see, we kind of lean a little bit on the female side. As students of color, we also attract students from all different backgrounds, demographics. Again, I mentioned we are a Catholic institution, but we are welcoming to all students from all different backgrounds. And then, of course, you see there, we do grab quite a few students from out of state. And so we are located just west of downtown. If you're familiar with the city, we're located in the Uptown historic neighborhood. Right across the street is where you'll find Audubon Park. That is the city's, there's actually 2 large parks in the city. This is one of them. This actually houses the city zoo. It's a big green space with walking paths, a golf course. And so if students want to catch a break or, relax before or after class, that's the place to be. So the city of New Orleans, has a lot of different things going on. We are known for our festivals. It's like every month, there's always a festival going on. And so one of the things I didn't know is that the TV shows and movies that are produced here, a lot of them are filmed in our city. which actually helps our film students if you're interested in film. We are, I mentioned earlier, a Jesuit institution. What basically that means is our philosophy, our mantra is men and women for and with others. So the cura personalis is basically what we try to teach. And that's not only you're going to get a great education, but you're also going to be hopefully grow spiritually, socially. We want our students to kind of, when they leave here, we want them to kind of become very active in their community or wherever they're going to be. We want you guys to change the world, if you will. So we have 3 distinguished departments or colleges. We're mostly known for the College of Arts, Music and Media, which is that far right-hand side. So music, of course, jazz studies. We also have music therapy. We have programs that are hard to find, like our music industry studies. We just renamed one of our programs. Now it's a hip hop and R&B degree. So those beat makers, sound engineers, if you like to create content, that's probably a good place for you. I did also mention filmmaking. We also have journalism, mass communications, and design that falls into that music and media. So we're mostly known for that. Number 2 is probably our College of Business. So we're a trade, port city. So trade and commerce, very big here in our city. So accounting, management. Number 3 is our sciences. So we are by the ocean. So we do offer biology with a marine biology specialization. We also offer nursing. That's a new program, a direct entry to our nursing program, pre-med, pre-health, chemistry. So we offer those sciences. Number 4 is going to be our psychology. We offer that with neuroscience as an addition to that. And then 5 is our criminal justice or criminology, as some of the colleges will call it. So those are our top 5 areas. But again, we are a liberal college, so we do encourage our students to kind of, if you like to double major, add minors. So if you're that music major and wants to study English or cybersecurity, we encourage that. Our business students want to, add a science or maybe music, we encourage that, and so forth. So those are our different departments. We do offer honors program for those students that are high achievers. This is where selected group students will actually work with smaller class sizes, and then they have a lot of opportunities to do extensive research. They participate in different workshops, conferences for our honors program students. As we also offer study abroad, we want not only you to have a great education, but we want you to use those skills, what you've learned in the classroom, and work with others as you study abroad. You'll have different classes you can take overseas, get to learn about different perspectives and stuff like that. So really, I'm going to end it here with our admission criteria. We are what they call test blind, test free. You probably hear those words. Basically, that means we don't look at test scores. Test scores are not required for admissions and scholarships. So what I look for is I'll look at the GPA. I look at the body of work from the student from freshman year to junior year. I'll look at the letters of recommendation, essay. That all kind of goes into our review committee. We are on the common application, no application fee. So if you're thinking about applying early, we highly recommend that, especially for our honors students that want to go into an honors program. We highly recommend that. And then our scholarships, these are our merit scholarships. We also offer honors, social justice, athletic scholarships. And so as I'm rounding this up, we do have encouraged students to come visit us. So please do contact me and I'll be happy to, either virtual or in person, I'll be happy to help you out. Well, thank you very much. And I'm going to hand it back to Matt for our next presenter.
Great, thank you very much. And next up is Tulane University. Amy, are you able to join us for this?
Hi, yes. Sorry, the Wi-Fi here has been very shaky, but hello everyone. My name is Amy Sethna and I'm the admissions counselor for Tulane University. My territories include Colorado and Ohio, but I'm based in New Orleans. So I love this allows me to meet students from all across the country and then be able to chat with them on campus. So I'm gonna as well share my screen and talk a little bit about what life is like in New Orleans. So like my colleague before me, we are actually next door neighbors. So Loyola is right next to Tulane. We are located in New Orleans, Louisiana, about 15, 20 minutes away from downtown in the French Quarter. What I love about that is that our campus is the perfect middle medium. You have access to the city, but at the same time, our campus is a great area full of trees, nature. Across the street from us is Audubon Park, so you really get the best of both worlds. One of the main aspects of Tulane academically is that we are extremely flexible, and we take pride in the fact of that we allow students to really pursue all of their passions. So when you apply to Tulane, you are not just applying to one of our 5 undergraduate schools, you're just applying to Tulane as a whole. And from there, if you get accepted, you get accepted into our School of Liberal Arts, our School of Science and Engineering, our A.B. Freeman School of Business, our School of Public Health, and our School of Architecture. So there are not any boundaries as to what you are interested in studying. Students have until the end of their sophomore year to formally declare a major. So in the meantime, those first 2 years can be more of an exploratory period to maybe try political science one semester, try public health another semester. The options are really unlimited. About 40% of students double major. So like I said, really pushing students to pursue all the passions they have. Their double majors can span across different schools. So you may have a student who is interested in neuroscience while at the same time has been dancing for all their life. So really being able to focus on all those passions that they have. We have an undergrad population of about 7,800. So we are a medium-sized institution. All of our undergrad students are on our uptown campus. So it is a really close-knit community that we really enjoy. An average class size of 22, and the further you go into your major, you are really going to have those more individualized abilities to connect with your peers and your professors and form those deep relationships. Another aspect of our academics is that we are an R1 institution, so we are at the highest level of research activity across institutions. That takes into consideration for the amount of funding that we have, and as well the ability for students to be involved in research. And when we say research, it's not just a STEM-related form of research. It really occurs across all 5 of our undergraduate schools. We are a research powerhouse, and we take pride in the fact that as early as their freshman year, students can get involved with research. Another aspect of our academics is study abroad. We have over 70 different programs around the world for students to explore, ranging from 2 weeks to a semester to even year long. So whatever students are interested in, whether it's a cultural connection or a language, or even just focusing on something within their major, they're going to be able to explore anything that they are interested in. Our academic advisors and our Office of Study Abroad support staff work really well to be able to connect students with the best programs possible and have their majors and their classes count while abroad. The last major part of our academics is our public service. So consistently year after year, we're in the top 2 most engaged in community service universities. We take pride in the fact that we are actively trying to get more involved in our New Orleans community and give back and leave New Orleans better than how we found it. That's done through our tiers of service learning centered with our Center for Public Service. And Tulane was the first major research institution to require public service as part of our curriculum. So that's something that we definitely hold dear to our heart ever since Hurricane Katrina, just trying to help the city be as lively and as great as it is, because it definitely gives a lot back to our students. Overall, after your undergraduate career, you're able to continue and move on and either go to grad school or enter the career force. And students are really feeling supported by the fact that our Career Services Center really works hard to find students jobs and interviews. And especially with that, our alumni network is especially connected to help recent alums also find that network for them in a new city if they choose to leave New Orleans. Overall, we have a higher than national percentage for getting students into those grad school programs, whether it's medical school or law school. At the bottom, you can see the national average versus our actual percentage. So we really prepare students to go into those forces of education or work that they are interested in. We take pride in the fact that our education is very interdisciplinary. You're not going to be stuck in one specific box academically at Tulane. If you are a liberal arts student, you're going to be able to explore business and science and engineering courses, and that's something that we take pride in, being able to double major, maybe have 2 minors, maybe even triple major. Really, there aren't any boundaries for you as a Tulane student. And lastly, the most important part is the social life. Who is that community that you're going to be around? So on average, we get 90% of students coming from out of state. Here in Colorado, we get anywhere from 25 to 30 students. So you're not going to be alone. You're going to be able to have friends around you going from Denver to New Orleans on your flights with you, going back to campus. So that's a really great sentiment of knowing that you're going from one community to another and feeling supported. Our students travel on average from 900 miles away from each coast, whether it's the West Coast, California, or the Northeast with New York and New Jersey. So you're really getting different perspectives around you. We have about 1,300 international students as well. So like I said, adding to those different perspectives, meeting students different from you, and knowing that you're going to be in a fun environment where you're really learning and supporting yourself within that culture. As always, I will put my information contacts in the chat, but it was a pleasure speaking with all of you. We have early action, early decision, and regular decision. And if you apply through any of those processes, you're already going to be considered for partial merit aid. And so that's a great way to look at your college experience from the get-go, getting those scholarships. And thank you so much.
Great, thanks, Amy. And next up is Rollins College.
Thanks very much for that, Matt. Are you hearing me, by the way?
Yes.
Thanks. I changed my settings and wanted to make sure that was still working. I appreciate that. Good afternoon and evening, everyone. My name is Frank Thomas from Rollins College in Orlando, Florida. Just a reminder that you can type your questions into the Q&A for any of us, and we'll be happy to answer them as we are going along. Also, before I forget, I am currently in Colorado, even though I'm based in Orlando. And tomorrow I'll be visiting Rock Canyon, Smoky Hill, Kent, Denver, Grandview, and Eagle Crest. So if you're a student at any of those schools, you'll have an opportunity to meet with me in person. Rollins is a college of liberal arts. We are located in Winter Park, just outside of Orlando, Florida. If you look to the far right side of the screen on the horizon, you'll see downtown Orlando in the background of this photo of our campus. We are the oldest college in Florida, founded in 1885, and we are consistently ranked as the #1 regional university in the South by US News and World Report. In the next couple of minutes, I'm going to give you several reasons why that's the case. We are a fairly small school, depending on your perspective with the size of your own school, but we have about 2,100 undergraduate students, and we are Florida's oldest college, so half of our students are Floridian, but the rest are coming from the rest of the world, including about 10% of our students who are from more than 60 countries around the world. And the signature approach that we take to a liberal arts education is what we call the Rollins Gateway. It starts off with our interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary liberal arts education. We're not trying just to prepare you for your first job. We're trying to prepare you for your last job so that we have future-proofed your education with the skills and tools we've given you. Secondly, we're trying to put you out there in the world from the very beginning, and this is through what we call liberal arts in action. It is study abroad, but it's many more things, including that, and also our integrated mentorship model. Because of our small size, because of our small class sizes and faculty to student ratio, you have that engagement with faculty to achieve the results that you are looking for. So as I mentioned, we have a small student to faculty ratio. We really don't have any classes over 25. We don't even have large classroom halls that hold that many students. And one of the keys to your experience is our student faculty collaborative research program, where you and a faculty member together design your own research line. We will fund that, so providing each of you with a stipend over the summer so that you can work on your research with the expected output of creating a peer-reviewed article for a journal or presenting at a consortium or conference. We're also home to a Phi Beta Kappa Society. Around 10% of American colleges are. This is the highest honor society available to undergraduates, and it really reflects well on the scholarship and the achievement of our faculty. You will choose a major by your 4th semester, so you don't have to select one right away. We're also going to make sure that you have a strong, broad foundation in the liberal arts, and we give you plenty of room to select electives that help enhance your experience and prepare you for the things that you think are coming next. So there is a tremendous amount of flexibility in our curriculum. But also, more than 3/4 of our students will study abroad at one point in their careers. A big part of why this liberal arts in action works so well for us is because your financial aid package will go with you on your first study abroad program, making it a lot easier for you to make a selection of a program that suits you. We're also going to give you opportunities to lead field studies and other semester or summer long programs to help enhance your experience. And also part of this action is getting you engaged in your community from the very beginning. One of the first things you'll do as a Rollins student is participate in our Spark Day. We're trying to spark that commitment to the world around you. No matter what community or neighborhood you find yourself in, how can you be involved and give back? Other ways that we provide engagement and opportunities for action are listed there on the screen too. But for us, we're never sitting still. We're working very hard to get you to come to Winter Park just so we can say, okay, get out there and start making changes in the world. More than 100 student organizations on campus, and it's very easy to start one of your own. We do have Greek life on our campus too. About a third of our students may be involved in that. And those are primarily service-oriented organizations. So there are many opportunities for you to be involved both academically and athletically, where we are a Division II college. So we do have some scholarships available for many of the sports that you see listed on the screen. If you are currently a junior and thinking about playing sports in college, you should start reaching out to prospective coaches now during your junior year. All of this leads up to our placement rate, which is one of the highest in the country. 97% of our graduates in the last year, for which we have reliable data, are in the workforce, in grad school, or have made other plans within 12 months of graduation. They're going on to work for some of the leading corporations in the world and attending some of the leading graduate schools in the world as well. But it's not just about what the campus offers. It's also the fact that we are part of the Orlando area. And Orlando is one of the fastest growing cities in the country. It's one of the top cities for job growth, for starting a new business, for internships, and for college graduates. So even though many of our students will have experience around the world from their time at Rollins, a lot of them wind up coming back to Orlando and starting their careers there. We are more than Disney and Universal. We are beaches 45 minutes to an hour and a half away. We're every kind of food you can imagine. We're professional sports and over 230 days of sunshine per year without those pesky snowstorms. So Orlando does have a lot to offer also. Rollins has been test optional for more than 14 years now, and you can see the admissions profile on the screen. We are on the Coalition app, the Common app, and our own Rollins application. And it is up to you whether you want to provide a test score or not. This is a good conversation to have with your admission counselor to determine whether a test score might be helpful to your application, given how a particular college may read. But don't forget those intangible items too. Your recommendations, your involvement, and your personal statement or your essay are vital parts of your application too. Our deadlines are on the screen. We have a couple of early decision options. I'll just remind you the first one's coming up on November 15th, and there are many benefits of early decision listed on the screen. Just keep in mind you should only apply early decision if a school is your top choice, and you can talk to your counselor more about those details. Our priority scholarship application deadline is also November 15th, and that's for our regular decision students. So whichever path you're expecting to choose, we'd recommend that you apply to Rollins College by November 15th of your senior year. 95% of our students are receiving some form of aid from us, which is why we are ranked as a top value school by US News and World Report. So I'll leave this last thought with you. Our most famous alumnus is Mr. Rogers from PBS. The values that he brought to the work that he did are the types of students that we're trying to create for the future. So if you'd like to learn more about that, we'd love to hear from you. Thanks very much.
Excellent. Thank you, Frank. Next up is the University of Tennessee.
Hey y'all, my name is Kylie Rigdon. I am the Denver Regional Admissions Representative for the University of Tennessee. So what that means for you is I am based here in Parker, actually, so I'm down here in a little bit of South Denver, but I have the entire state. So I am your person. I'm here all the time. Feel free to reach out. As I go through all of these slides, I'm gonna hit some really key points, and then I'm expecting to see y'all all at the high school visits that I'm at, any other future college fairs, things like that as well. So we are located in Knoxville, Tennessee, which is gonna be right in the middle of the Smoky Mountains on the banks of the Tennessee River. It is absolutely a fantastic place to spend for maybe longer years of college. and really get to experience a completely different side of the country and similar mountains, but a little bit different, a little more green, a little less high. Within the city of Knoxville itself, we are the third largest city in the state of Tennessee. So we're still going to have all of the amazing opportunities that you would expect to find in a city while not being overwhelming. So roughly we're about the size of Fort Collins. So if you like that feel, you want to get a little further away from home, come talk to me. Within that, the University of Tennessee does have just over 25,000 undergraduate students. We are a large size, large school, and we're going to offer over 360 majors. So as long as you can dream it, we probably have an avenue for it. I hate to say it, we are landlocked, so we do not have any type of marine biology. Other than that, come see what we got. A lot of options here. As you can kind of see within the Herbert College of Agriculture, we're based right in the middle of fantastic farmland, also right in the middle of forest. So a little bit of everything for some hands-on learning. Smoky Mountain National Park is just a very quick drive away, which is the most biodiverse national park in the country. So if you're thinking anything biology related or agriculture related in that sense, you're going to have some fantastic hands-on opportunities. Our College of Architecture holds 4 different majors. They are all competitive majors, but you do get to utilize the Makers Lab downtown, which is going to have the 3D printers, all the fantastic large artwork type experiences. So you're really getting the full gamut of options there. Within the College of Arts and Sciences, we have forensic anthropology, which is really just a fun way to say you get to be on either CSI or NCIS or literally any other type of those shows as the professional. But we also are going to conduct a lot of the forensic research on our anthropological research facility, also known as the Body Farm. If you are concerned about it, don't worry, you will never run into it on campus. It's the best kept secret. But within that, you do get to do research as an undergraduate student with world-renowned forensic anthropologists. So that's a pretty great way if you're looking into those majors. Supply chain management within our College of Business is the largest major we have on campus and ranked 5th in the nation. And so we also offer within the College of Business an integrated engineering and business major. So it allows you to kind of learn from both disciplines as well as education. It's going to be a part of that. The health sciences. College of Nursing is competitive, but direct entry. So you know whether or not you have a spot going into it. Nuclear engineering is going to be one of our oldest and most prestigious nuclear engineering programs in the country. And we are located in a hub of nuclear engineering facility and research opportunities in the Eastern Tennessee area as well. And then College of Social Works, one of our smaller colleges, smallest major, 5-to-1 student to faculty ratio in there as well. So lots of really great ways for you to get involved. Within our student population, we have about 25% of our students coming from out of state. So you're definitely going to be able to interact with people who are not coming from Colorado. They're also not going to be coming from Tennessee necessarily. So you really get the full wide range of that as well. On campus, you have access to over 600 student organizations, pretty much everything from your typical student body association, campus events, Greek life, about 22% of our student body. You also have chillin' and grillin' clubs. So if you just want to hang out and eat, you can do that. Oreo of the Month club, things like that. Lots of ways to celebrate all the interests that you have. We do have the top 5 outdoor program in the country. We are located, like I said, in this really fantastic place that allows for a lot of outdoor activities. And so you're able to get involved in that. And then we do have really fantastic sports. We're SEC Division I. Our stadium is the 5th largest in the country. We're actually larger than Broncos Stadium. So you're going to be at the heart of really fantastic athletic competition throughout the year of all the various sports that we're going to offer. Men's and women's basketball is always popular, as well as our baseball team made it to the College World Series this past year. So we are really excited for all of the athletics that University of Tennessee offers. Within that, they're free to go to as a student, with the exception of football. It's $10 a ticket. Hopefully it doesn't break the bank. But within that, you do have access to everything else completely free. As far as the application goes, it's the most important part. It's the most important thing of your life right now. If you're a senior, we do have an early, it's actually early action. I don't know why my slide says early decision. So within that, it's non-binding. Don't worry, you're just applying to get a decision earlier. And then December 15th is your regular decision deadline. Students who apply by November 1 have access to our competitive scholarships. They also are going to be able to receive their decision in mid-December. Regular decision gets those in mid-February. We are test optional for both scholarships and admission. And so it is completely up to you. Feel free to ask me if you want to know whether you should use your test scores or not. I'm happy to work that out with you and your family. And then if you're interested in visiting, you can absolutely come visit anytime. We have in-person tours happening throughout the entire year, 5 days a week, some weekends. And then we're also going to have virtual options available if you're not able to come to campus. It is a 3-hour direct flight from Denver into Knoxville. So it's really easy to get to. And if you're thinking about attending, it's easy to get back home if you need to. Also within that, we are on the Common App as well as our own institutional application. So feel free to utilize either one of those. And then, like I said, merit-based available for both applicants with test scores and without, and competitive scholarships as well. Just make sure you apply by the November 1st date to qualify for those. If y'all have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Like I said, you can either call, text, or email me. And then I like to hope that I will see you on the road later on. Thanks so much, y'all.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Kylie. So that wraps up our presentations. We have some time for Q&A before the session is over. And so I'd invite all of our presenters to come back on camera and respond to this question. What is one piece of advice you would give someone going through the college search process? And I'll ask the University of Alabama to start things off.
Great. And I apologize, y'all, that my slides didn't change. I was notified of that. So technical issues, I don't know. Anyway, to answer the question, senior year really should be one of the most exciting times of your life. So in order to enjoy the college search process and minimize the stresses that come along with that search process, I'd recommend you get organized by doing your research early and taking note of important dates and requirements. So just really work ahead of the process as best as you can and enjoy it and have fun with it.
Yes, I tell students, relax, it's your senior year. I know this could be very stressful, but again, take your time. Like Beth mentioned, those deadlines are so important. Visit the campus. We highly suggest that. But again, this is your time to shine. But again, no pressure. You'll get through it, but just reach out to us. We're here to help you.
My advice would be to kind of just listen to your heart. Your gut has a good feeling, and by listening to it, you'll know whether or not this is a place for you. Remember that there are not any bad universities, just bad fits. So figure out, be realistic for what your expectations and what you want out of your college experience. And by listening to yourself, you'll be able to find that best fit for you.
As you're narrowing down your choices, please keep us, your admission counselors, in mind, because this is what we do for a living. So there really aren't any dumb questions. I mean, we may laugh, but we'll still answer your questions. We've heard them all before. So don't be bashful about reaching out to us. And a bonus tip for you, after you wind up selecting your college and you attend in the fall, don't forget about your admission counselor, because we know pretty much where everything is on campus and who everybody is and how to get things done. So if you need some help with something after you arrive, go back to your admissions counselor. We're lonely. We miss you.
I'm going to say prepare to be surprised. You may have had this dream school in your mind for your entire life, and you may visit campus and realize it's not what you thought it was. And so be prepared to be surprised by maybe a school you didn't necessarily have at the top of your list, but it might come out and be your best fit. So just definitely don't write anything off until you're sure it's not a good fit for you.
Awesome. Great advice. So our next question is, what's one thing you want students to remember?
So Matt, on my end, you were cutting in and out. So I'm going to ask the question again. What's one thing you want students to remember about your school? So for us, we're kind of well known for our football program, in all honesty, and that's a huge component of the University of Alabama. But what I'd really like for you to take away is we're much more than a football school. We have a huge tradition of excellence in academic, student life, and community service, in addition to the athletics.
Here at Loyola, New Orleans, I think I mentioned this in my presentation, but we're known for the city of New Orleans to have film production. A lot of TV shows are made here in the city. Actually, there are a couple of movies. Happy Death Day is a horror movie. So if you're into horror, that was actually shot here in our campus. So it's kind of like a way you can tour the campus to see that movie. You can see all the different buildings. Another one was the one with Channing Tatum and the other guy that was filmed here as well. So a couple of tidbits there. So there you go.
One thing about Tulane is that not only are you getting a great academic experience with exploring all your passions, being able to have that academic flexibility, but you're truly going to be supported by an environment of students who want to collaborate. They want to work with you. I know with higher or lower acceptance rates universities, you see that sense of competition where students are very high academic achieving. And while we do have that at Tulane, it is much more of a collaborative environment where students are passionate about what they're learning, and they really want to be able to take what they're learning and benefit others and benefit the community, especially here in New Orleans.
The most famous graduate of Rollins College by a mile is Mr. Fred Rogers from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood in PBS fame. He graduated from Rollins in 1951 and was closely associated with the college for the rest of his life. We love Mr. Rogers and we like to brag on him, but I also mention him to make an important point about the types of leaders that Rollins is striving to create. Mr. Rogers' expressions of care, his commitment to education, and his involvement in whatever community he was in at the time are the same types of values that we're trying to inculcate in our graduates. So not only is he a great exemplar of those values, but he also continues to inspire our students and our future students today.
One thing about the University of Tennessee is we are a large school, large population. We also have a lot of large school spirit. And so within that, you're going to come onto campus, you're going to come as you are, find a sense of belonging and be able to create a community that's going to be completely different than the student who's sitting next to you. And you're going to be able to create that experience and be exactly what it wants to be and spend your 4 years fostering this new future for yourself.
Excellent. Thank you all. One more question before we wrap up this session, and it is, what is one myth you'd like to debunk on the college admission process?
So since all of the schools in this session are out-of-state schools, I feel pretty safe saying this. One of the myths is that it's cheaper to go in-state than it is to go out-of-state. And that used to be kind of the general rule of thumb years ago, but that's no longer the case. In many instances with the scholarship packages offered by out-of-state schools, as well as financial aid packages, it can be much more affordable, or at least comparable, to go out of state to school than it is to stay in state in Colorado.
Yeah, Beth brings up a good point, especially with private and public schools as well. Since we are a private school, people see the tuition costs and the sticker shock. But I tell students, we do offer generous merit scholarship. We have honors program scholarships, and then our athletics program. So I tell students, don't count those private schools out as well. We can definitely offer some great scholarships for you.
The myth that just because you have the highest GPA in your class or that you're at the top of your class, being a well-rounded student is great. But what a lot of universities want to see is also demonstrated interest. So here at Tulane, we love it when students are as invested in us as we are with them. So going to events, showing the universities that you care about them, even if you might have a lot of schools that you're looking at. But you don't have to be just the top of your student to get top of your class to get into a university. You also kind of have to give a little bit to them as well and show them that you care about them.
There's a myth that the college application process really boils down to being all about the numbers, and that simply just isn't true. The student who's got the perfect GPA and test score is the rare student. And for many of you who are listening to us, you're all going to wind up, kind of very close together when it comes to those numbers. And that's why the rest of your application takes on such importance for us. Your recommendations, your involvement, your personal statement, or your essay. Those are the types of things that can kind of break the tie when there's one spot for a hypothetical 20 students and they all look so close together. So it really isn't just about those numbers. The entire application matters to us, and we really do read everything that you send us.
It is really hard going last and hoping no one steals your thunder, because I only had like a couple left at this point. The myth I'm going to debunk though is rankings. I think we all love to talk about our top somethings and we're so great, and I know I'm also guilty of it. But at the end of the day, the Grand Canyon is ranked #1 vacation spot. But if you hate hiking, you're not going to enjoy a vacation to the Grand Canyon. It's just going to be a giant hole in the dirt. So really find your fit and make sure that you're using the rankings in a very cautious way. And you're not just using them because it's like, oh, it's the best program ever. If you go to the best program ever and you don't like it, you're not having a great time and you're spending a lot of money and a lot of time doing something you don't enjoy. And so just make sure you also factor in fit and comfortability when you're looking at all of the things when you're looking at schools.
By the way, this is why all of our counselors get along so well. I'm totally stealing that Grand Canyon thing. I'm going to use that. I
have to admit, it's not my own. I already stole it. So feel free, pass it on. Great.
Well, thank you all so much. We are just about out of time for this session. So I want to say Thank you to our presenters for all the great information that you shared in your time this evening. And thank you to our audience. When you close the Zoom window, there will be a link to a quick survey. We do appreciate your feedback. And please do sign up for additional sessions that are part of this fair happening later this evening. And you'll be able to find a recording of this session and all of the sessions at strivescan.com/Greater Denver. So thank you all so much. Have a great rest of your evening.